Hey everybody, welcome to the Marketing Checklist ViewCast. We're Sharon and Hank Uloff from Uloff Creative Marketing Solutions. When you're looking to solve those marketing challenges, sales challenges, human resource challenges, we're the small business coaches that you call.
On this ViewCast, you will meet and learn from successful entrepreneurs who are out there making it happen right now.
Yep, here's how it works. For those of you, this is your first episode. We have pre-sent the questions to every one of our guests. We have their answers. We have a pretty good idea where the conversation's going, but we want to bring you the very best information that's going to help you build your business.
Here's the kicker. The interview itself will be just 7 minutes, 21 seconds long.
Why 7:21?
That's our wedding
Yes,
anniversary.
it is. So why don't we get started? Before we hit the clock, Sharon, would you introduce our stylish looking guest today?
So today we get to talk to Tony, who has a very unique perspective. He is an author and he is going to share a bit more about his story with us. Are you ready to get started, Tony?
Absolutely.
Awesome. Okay, so keeping in mind, we only have a 3-story building. What is your elevator story?
Well, I was an aviator, a marathoner, and now I'm a motivator and let's see now, what could you say? Author.
For sure, for sure. Okay, so now give us a little bit more. What is your business really all about?
Well, there's 2 separate but interconnected businesses. One is I write to a blog, runningwithcat.com, and I took that information over the 5.5 years that I was writing to it, while my partner, Catherine, and I were running all over the world, literally running all over the world. And I wrote a book called Running All Over the World, Our Race Against Early-Onset Alzheimer's.
That's a great title.
That's fabulous. Well done. Okay, so why should our listeners flock, or in your case, run to you?
Well, what I try to do is I give folks that tune in to listen to podcasts or read my blog or read the book, I give them an alternative, which is joy as opposed to despair. Because Catherine and I were given quite a curveball, which is she had has early onset Alzheimer's, and I had open heart surgery to replace a leaky aortic valve.
Yeah.
You know, I had a client that had the exact same thing, and he was 95 when he passed. And if you looked in his office, it was lined with marathon numbers or, 5K numbers and 10, all like the entire office.
Right. Yes. I understand
it made
that.
me feel really good about myself.
So following along with that line, what tips can you give to our listeners?
Well, the tip that I give often is for folks to follow their passion. And especially when it comes time for retirement. Because a lot of people say, oh, what am I going to do to retire? I'm just going to keep working. Oh, I don't have anything, I'm going to play golf or whatever. Well, find out early on what your passion is and then use that when you retire. And our passion, of course, was running and traveling. And that's what we did when we retired.
Awesome. That does seem to be the theme for today for some reason. This is follow your passion seems to be coming up a lot today, specifically, starting with a podcast this morning. What is an amusing job title for you, Tony?
Oh, I love this one, which is Jack of all trades and masters of none. I had my last job, 27 years in United Parcel Service. I had 16 different jobs there. Every time I felt like I was comfortable, they said, oh, Tony, we need you to do this. So my thought process was, if anybody else could do it, I can do it, and I probably could do it better. So why not?
I thought your title would have been the official starter, because every race has that, that starter pistol, and you would have been the guy hitting that to inspire people to go.
Right, there you go.
What are the most common questions that people ask you about your business?
Why did I write a book? Absolutely.
I will never ask you that question.
Oh, no.
I just applaud you for it.
Why don't they write?
Yeah, why aren't they? The answer should be, why didn't you write one?
Well, percentage-wise, only about 1% of the population who said they wanted to write a book actually get it done. And
you're right.
There's a very good reason. It is really hard.
Well, we have found ways to make it a little easier, but
Okay,
yes,
good.
yes. What is the most unexpected thing that you've encountered in your business?
And that is the fact that how hard it was to write a book.
Ah,
The actual sitting down and writing portion of it, I wrote it over 5.5 years. So that one was pretty easy. But then taking all that information and editing it down, finding a professional editor so it looked good, and then finding a publisher, and then working through the whole publishing process was quite daunting.
It is quite the ordeal.
Having a really good editor. We've had the same editor for all 7 books, and I guarantee she's made me a better writer.
Good, good.
So, what's your favorite business tool that you use to help people?
Well, I say the internet from the standpoint of that's how we got connected, if you really think about it.
For sure.
We were sitting there, I was doing my thing, you were doing your thing. We were on the internet, we collaborated, and here we are. And a lot of that is done that way. But I will caution folks, you can go down some rabbit holes. If you want
For
to.
sure.
Yeah. That's how some people find our podcast. Is there a 4-letter word that best describes what you're doing?
Yes, it's itai, which is a urban dictionary, a description for Italian. And what it means to me is inspire till I expire.
So that's ITIE, inspire
correct.
till I expire. I love that.
That's awesome.
That's really awesome. I think that might be one of the best 4-letter words we've ever had on our podcast.
Well, that's great. I'm glad.
So you get a high five.
All right.
There you go. And what about your business makes you the most happy?
Makes me the most happy, inspiring others and motivating others to achieve their goals. My whole life has been around motivating people.
And what did you learn in nursery school that has helped you do that?
Sharing my knowledge, sharing my experiences, sharing my passion, and either spoken or written.
See, I almost would have guessed, because you were with UPS, being on time is important.
Well, there's a whole story that Sharon and I were talking about prior. I was signed on 30 minutes prior.
You wanted to make sure the tech worked.
Wow.
Well, you know what the way, yeah, because for flying airplanes, the way it worked is you get there early. If you see something wrong with the airplane, you get plenty of time for the mechanic. If you get a delay, if you get a weather delay or mechanical, you still have time to make it up, because the bottom line is arrival. You want to arrive on time.
And safely.
Yes,
Yes,
absolutely.
A safe landing 10 minutes late, I think I would take that over any alternative.
Oh, absolutely.
Is there a fantasy lead that you could receive from, is there somebody watching that you'd love to have connect with you?
Well, my thought process is that it only takes one person.
Okay.
So you just need to communicate. You need to get your word out, and you never know where that person is. You never know how that person's going to happen upon whatever you had to say. And then next thing you know, you get an email, you get a phone call, and then they say, I was listening, I heard, I read, whatever. And then they say, I've got the perfect opportunity for you.
Yeah.
And so that's what I'm doing.
And I'm going to guess that 6-year-old Tony did not think his whole thing was going to be motivating others. How did that was your life calling?
Ooh, that's interesting, because what ended up happening is I decided to be a pilot. And pilot was exciting, it made a good living. You got to travel. So they hit all those boxes. But then when I got in the airplane, I was like, okay, there's got to be more to this than just, moving the plane safely from point A to point B. So the jobs I had at United Parcel Service, I started off training pilots in management. I went into management, I started training pilots. And then I saw their eyes light up. I'm like, oh, this is it. This is where I want to go. So got into that part of it, and it led me to my career at UPS.
And
Awesome.
is there an ideal referral or what's the ideal lead that you want from this?
Okay, bottom line is, one of the reasons why I wrote the book was I wanted to take the proceeds, a portion of the proceeds, and donate it to organizations that help people afflicted with Alzheimer's and also for their caregivers. So I need to sell some books.
There we are.
Basically, from my standpoint, I'm okay. I don't need the money. Everything's fine there, but I want to take the money and turn it around and donate it. So my best lead would be someone to say, I've got the perfect placement for you. You need to be doing this. You need to be doing that. And then we can go ahead and take this book to the stars and
Awesome.
Generate some funds for Alzheimer's patients and their caregivers.
Cool. Now, do you have an offer that you have for our listeners, a way of them getting connected with you and starting that conversation?
Yes, absolutely. So if they go to Running with Cat, that's CAT.com. That's what I call Catherine, my partner. That's my pet name for her. So if you go there, then you're able to go to the Connect page. And the first 5 people that said that they saw me here will get an audiobook of Running All Over the World, Our Race Against Early-Onset Alzheimer's. And I can tell you, it is fantastic, only from the standpoint that it was another one of my goals was for Catherine and I to be able to listen to it as we're traveling and be able to reminisce over where we were and what we did. So we love it. The gentleman that I hired to do it did a great job. He has my character, he has my sense of humor, and we laugh and smile all the way. And I think you will too.
That was
awesome.
going to be my last question. If you did your own read your own book. So
no, I did not. But I did find someone. I had to interview 30 different folks. And wow. I thought I was about to give up. And then I woke up one morning and this gentleman submitted his audition. And within about a minute, I knew that he was the one. And he was on time. He was on budget, and he did a fantastic job. I'm really happy. Now, one of the things about the book, it's not only about Alzheimer's. It's not only about running. It's a travel log. It's a medical memoir talking about runners and injuries that they come up against.
Wow.
But we have been to 81 different countries and have run at least a half marathon in 35 countries.
Wow.
So a lot of that, I don't go through all 81 countries, but we travel by plane, by cruise, by running, by walking. And I give you a bird's eye view from Tony's perspective.
Awesome.
Perfect. Well, Tony, thank you for being on with us today.
And you're quite welcome.
Okay, so by all means, go connect with Tony at runningwithcat.com. And if you'd like to connect with us, go to howtogettherefaster.com.
Yep, you get a 30-minute success call with us, and we'll get you up and running toward further success.
And if you too would like to be on the ViewCast, then just make sure that you let us know while we're chatting after you go to howtogettherefaster.com.
Wow, I bet Tony knows how to get there faster.
I bet he does, yes.
See, we could just carry that metaphor all day. Thanks for being with us, Tony.
You're quite welcome.
And thanks for watching, everybody.